Today is the 18th of September. Today, exactly 406 years ago, the British officer Sir Thomas Roe, as the British ambassador of James I, the King of England at that time, met Emperor Jahangir, the Emperor of India, and from there the story starts. Today we are going to talk about the world's greatest scam, which lasted approximately 130 years and a total amount of 328 trillion 783 billion 500 million Indian rupees was stolen. The Englishman flourishes and acts like a sponge, drawing up riches from the Ganga and squeezing it down into the Thames. This is not my opinion, but an Englishman's writing in a book. Yeah, but in the British Raj there was development as well. If there were no British, there would be no railways, no English education and English.
Many people believe this, but the truth is rooted deep down.
And that truth begins to come out when we ask the question, why did the British make trains in the first place? When the British Raj had expanded from Canada to Australia, India had become a center for them, and to transport goods was in their interest. And who poured the money into the railways? We did. It benefited them and we paid for it. Between 1857 and 1947, more than 14,000 trains had been imported from Britain. In the trains, only British people used to work. From a ticket collector to a high-level officer, they made sure that all money earned would go to a white man's wallet. India got poorer day by day and Britain got wealthier. But why? Dadabhai Nauroji started researching on this loot and he got to know a shocking fact. Between 1835 and 1872, in a period of less than 40 years, more than 13 million pounds worth of goods were imported by Britain from Indian merchants, and Indians were not even paid a single rupee for this. This is called the drain theory. To ensure this level of drain, the British needed a network, and this network was the Indian Railways. Even the world's most valuable diamond, the Kohinoor, was transported by a train from Punjab to the Bombay port. In the 17th century, Britain was a small country and had an economy of just 2% of the world economy. At the same time, India had a GDP of 25% of the whole world. And in 1947, it had become just 4%. Britain's largest revenue source was India. And this is possible when the existing economy is destroyed. How? By deindustrialization. If the import-export is happening by sea, then destroy the shipbuilding companies. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj used the navy to defend the Konkan against the Portuguese. The Imperial Chola Navy went all the way to Indonesia. Our navy was our strength. Bengal, Surat, Calicut were hubs for shipbuilding businesses that the British destroyed. In a similar way, agriculture and small industries were also broken down. When the British came, they broke handlooms. Weavers were forced to sell only to the British, and the selling price was so low that they could not even recover their own costs. British were those uninvited guests who took taxes from us, controlled our currency, and decided the value of our goods as well. This is undoubtedly the greatest scam of all times. This scam had 3 steps. Step 1. If any trader wanted to buy Indian-made goods, first they had to buy special council bills. This was a special currency in which the British Crown had complete control. Step 2. To purchase this currency, payment was only accepted in gold or silver. Take actual material for a piece of paper. Step 3. These special council bills had no value in India. People in India needed Indian rupees to buy goods. What should be the exchange rate for a special council bill? This rate was decided by the British also, and this money came from the taxes we paid. But a scam like this can only be successful when smart people who can expose the scam were in the crown's control. So they started the world's biggest brainwashing campaign. Its name, English education. Macaulay said that we need to create Indians which are Indians in blood and color, but English in taste, opinions, morals, and in intellect. It's not a problem that the British started teaching with an English medium. The problem is that they started to convince us that their principles, morals, and their lifestyle is ideal. Buying British goods was a status symbol. That's how we became their slaves. Slaves who didn't take money from them but gave them money. And we never understood this. We paid 1 crore rupees for the Victoria Memorial. For the World Wars, we paid 17 crores. That's how the value of the world's largest scam kept increasing. The value of the scam in today's time is 328 trillion, 783 billion and 500 million rupees, which is 17 times the present annual GDP of Britain. Even if they want to return the money, they can't. And today, India, after the world's greatest scam, our GDP is the 5th largest in the world, ahead of Britain. That East India Company that looted India for over a century, its owner is now an Indian. If you like this video, got something new to learn, then share this video, like it and subscribe to our channel.